Hey everybody, Ozark Gilman here, coming at you with a little audio broadcast here from Radio Free Missouri. So rest your eyes from that unnecessary backlight, and best of all, you don't have to see my mug up on the screen. So today I want to talk about a little bit about what they are calling modern monetary theory, and is basically an extreme version of you need more money, well just print it. What could possibly go wrong? In a way, it's what the government and the Federal Reserve, which is not the government, go ahead and look all that up, there's a rabbit hole for you. It is what they are already doing. Because when they need more money, they just print more money. And then, whoa, we're so shocked. How did this inflation happen? See, the roots of this actually started on Wall Street back in the 1800s, but something that was made illegal for companies to do. Um, and the odd thing was, it wasn't made illegal because it was messing over the little guy. It was made illegal by other monopolies who didn't want this to be done against them by other would be monopolies. See, companies would sell a bunch of stock, and then it started with one company. A couple New Yorkers thought it would be a great idea, sell some stock, get everybody to buy it up because they knew the company was about to wreck. And then they went down to the basement and they literally printed up a ton of new stocks. And then they just introduced a ton of new stocks to the company. Now all of a sudden, the stocks that I believe it was either Rockefeller or one of the other major investors bought up was worth almost nothing. The mistake that they made was not messing over the little guy. The mistake that they made was messing over a huge, actually, I believe it was Vanderbilt, if I recall correctly. You can look it up. The mistake that they actually made was messing over another monopoly. That's why it was made illegal. But these same groups of people, like how Rockefeller was involved in the founding of the Federal Reserve, said, hey, the thing that was illegal, that was deemed so messed up, such an illegal cheat. Now, I think even the more libertarian type people would acknowledge, yeah, that's pretty much straight up theft. That's not free market. That is not free and fair trade. That is straight up theft. And yet, it has now been legalized for the banking monopoly, the Federal Reserve, which again is technically no more a part of the government than Federal Express, to do, and the government, to just print more money when they want to, when it suits their needs. You can control the market by this. You can pick the winners and losers. And every monopoly, including the one you are listening to now, is essentially a function of the government. Look who gave the money for Disney to buy up that swampland down in Florida, and then gave them just basically complete autonomy to write their own tax code so no one could ever compete with them and make themselves a monopoly, as long as they did the propaganda that the government wanted, and then they could get away with doing whatever other pervert stuff they wanted. Same thing with Hollywood. Same thing with the people who donated the money, who gave the money, I should say, to start up Amazon and give them a massive infrastructure to travel around the world. Isn't that something interesting? All of the more secretive parts of the government that learned back then. Just like when the government, basically the Nevada Gaming Commission, took over Vegas from the mafia, they never really got rid of the mafia. The government just took the mafia's place. They learned from the mafia. The government even used mafia as their own spies back in World War II. If you can't beat them, well, don't just join them. Get them on your team and even learn from them. The government has been very, very good at learning from the dastardly deeds of con men and then applying them to their own methods. In this case, the Federal Reserve and the government just printing out more money. They're basically watering down the stocks in our very own pockets and using it against us. Now Biden says that this hiking up gas prices and destroying our energy sector and the food, all these food plants magically somehow accidentally catching on fire, whatever it is, maybe it is, who knows, maybe it is some weird coincidence and accidents because the machines were not maintained when they were shut down for COVID. Could be. Fat chance, but I don't think it's very likely. It doesn't look like a coincidence. But now the government is doing all this by just printing more money, executing modern monetary theory, and watering down the stock in our pockets. And we, instead of a monopoly getting messed over like it was in the 1800s, it's all of us, every single one of us. And it takes the power out of our pockets, and it takes the power away from our vote. This is Ozark Gilman. You'll have a good one.